Artificial intelligence is actually shaking the entire tech industry today. From how we work to how we automate systems and even to how we manage servers. But then the big question here is, what does all of this actually means to a Linux user? Maybe a system administrator, a DevOps professional, and even anyone working with cloud servers. So in today's session, I will be breaking down in simple terms what AI is, how it works, where it helps. How is it transforming system administration, cloud, DevOps, and even server management? How does Linux fit into this rapid changing world of AI? So now, what does this AI really mean? All right. At first, I would want you to forget all the complicated explanations that you've heard before, and then I would like us to break it down in simple terms. Now, AI is simply a computer program that learns. It learns pattern and then makes decision. Now, a typical example of this would be if you show AI thousands of photos, let's say photos of cats and dogs. Now it learns the difference. So I like you to think of AI like teaching a child through examples. The more you show, the more smarter it becomes. So in a very simple term, AI is just a computer system that can learn patterns and make decisions on its own. It learns patterns and makes decisions on its own. Let's look at a very simple analogy. I want you to imagine that you hired a new assistant. Now, at first, this assistant do not know much, but you notice that the more they work with you, the more they learn. This is exactly how AI is. All right, it studies patterns, remembers them, and get better with time. All right. So, in a very simple analogy, AI is like a smart assistant that learns from experience and then improve with time. So now, how does AI works? What I want you to understand is that AI system follows what I called three-step loops or three-step cycle. Number one is that it learns from data. And then number two is that it predicts, and the prediction is based on patterns. It predicts based on patterns. All right. Then the number three is that it improves when corrected. So these are the three-step cycles as far as how AI works is concerned. They learn, predict, and then improve. AI lives on Linux. Now, this way is actually getting even more interesting. Now, that's because this is the part many people do not even realize. Yes, of course. AI runs on Linux. Why? Now, the truth there is the GPUs for training models run Linux. Now, cloud servers run Linux. Even Docker and containers use Linux. All right, AI frameworks we actually built for Linux. Even machine learning clusters runs Ubuntu, CentOS, Red Hat, and even other Linux distribution. So basically, Linux here is the home of modern AI. All right, I like you to think of Linux as the kitchen and AI as the chef. Now, if you have a full control of the kitchen, it therefore means that the chef works for you. All right. Now, what this means is that if you are grounded in Linux and then you have your fundamentals as far as Linux is concerned, it therefore means that AI is now serving as an assistant. All right. For instance, now if you are a system admin, I would say that AI here is actually your assistant system admin. All right. So most AI system runs on Linux servers. So now, in reality, how does this AI helps Linux users? Now, like I said before, AI makes system administration fast, smart, and easier. All right. I want us to look at it in a more practical way. So one of the practical ways AI helps Linux users, system administrators, cloud, DevOps engineers is that it monitors servers automatically. All right. Now, I would like you to imagine having a junior system administrator who never sleeps, and that's your AI. It will watch your server 247 and alert you any moment something unusual happens. Let me take an example. If Apache or Nginx is about to crash, AI can detect the pattern as even before it becomes a problem. All right. So AI can actually help you as a Linux user to detect high CPU usage, network anomalies, brute force attacks, suspicious locking, malware behaviors, and even service failures. All right. So these are practical ways AI can help you as a Linux user. Okay, so another way AI would help you as a Linux user or maybe as a system administrator is that AI is going to read your log. All right. Now, as a system administrator or maybe as a Linux user, oftentimes logs can be so long, and most times can even be very boring. Sometimes you could scroll through thousands of lines of logs just to find just one error. All right. And that can be so boring. All right. So AI here is actually able to read all those lines of logs in just a second and tell you, hey, there is a failed SSH login from an unknown IP. Or it could even tell you something like the service crashed at 2 a.m. Here is exactly the reason. All right. So AI here can help you summarize your system errors, security warnings, kernel issues, cron failures. For example, if you had actually set cron job and then it did not go through or it did not work, AI can prompt a notification. All right. And also package problems. Okay, so another way that AI would help you as a system admin or a Linux user would be that now it's going to help you to write bash scripts and automations. All right. Now, we with the help of AI, we are actually gradually moving beyond the era that you would have to spend days, weeks, hours writing and then debugging codes. All right. Now, currently there is what we call vibe coding. Instead of spending all those hours times to write bash script, you could literally tell AI, hey, write a script that backs up my home directory every night, and boom, it writes a clean script and with comments that you can actually go through and then understand step by step whatever is actually going on. All right. So AI can generate scripts for you. It can generate backup scripts or create users, permissions, monitoring, cron job like we talked before, and then even deployment. All right. So these are what AI can help you do as a Linux user. All right. So let's look at AI enhancement with DevOps and cloud. All right. So if you're actually working in DevOps, this is actually huge. This is really huge. All right, because AI now can actually help you generate your Docker files, Nginx configurations, Terraform templates, Ansible playbooks, CI/CD YAML files. I mean, this is actually huge. All right, as someone that is working in DevOps, AI helps you generate your infrastructure as good as quickly as possible. However, you still need to understand the basic. All right, you still need to understand the basic. Now, this is actually what is going to lead us into talking about the risk of using AI. All right. So now, where exactly can AI be dangerous? As powerful and as useful as it is, where exactly can it be dangerous or risky? All right. Now, number one is that it can give wrong answers. Number two is that AI can create insecure configuration. And then the number three is that people may, you or anyone can actually be over dependent on it. Now, sometimes AI will confidently give you the wrong command. All right, I'm using the word confidently because I'm talking out of experience. Sometimes AI will confidently give you wrong command, and most times you might not even realize until it breaks, possibly it spoils something or breaks your server. All right. Now, a typical example of this would be maybe you wanted it to generate generate a firewall rule for you. All right. It may end up generating a firewall rule that opens your server to the entire world. All right. So if you do not have maybe your basic networking background or basic networking knowledge, or maybe your basic Linux knowledge, configuring that kind of setup that it has generated can expose you to security risks. All right. So it is very important that as a Linux user or as a system administrator, you use AI as a helper and not as a replacement for a real knowledge. I repeat that. It is very important that as a Linux user or maybe as a system administrator, you use AI as a helper and not as a replacement for knowledge. Now, the way the actual knowledge lies is actually in your understanding of your basics. Okay, so now that we've seen the usefulness of AI and possibly some risks attached to it as well, the big question here is, where exactly does this Linux powers AI in real life? All right. Now, Linux on its own quietly runs the AI behind the scene. All right. AI systems that run on Linux we have self-driven cars. All right. Self-driven cars can process camera data on Linux. All right. We have cybersecurity tools, and then cybersecurity AI monitors Linux logs. Then we have medical diagnosis AI. Medical AI scans X-rays using TensorFlow on Linux servers. We have chatbots. We have cloud AI. We have farming AI. A typical example of this farming AI would be developing an AI model that runs on Linux and is capable of detecting plant diseases. All right. So, like I discussed before, one of the real life example where Linux actually powers AI would be building an AI models that runs on Linux, and it is actually able to detect plant diseases, like an AI model that detects plant diseases, or we can call it AI plant disease detector. All right. So how the workflow would look like would be, once the AI model is built or developed, the farmer would upload a leaf. That's a leaf from the farm, and then after which the Linux server is going to receive it, and then the AI model that has been developed would analyze the image, and then prediction is carried out and returned in seconds. Then the farmer now gets an instant diagnosis of the state of his crops, whether he or she needs to apply pesticide or something, or apply any form of treatment. Now what this does is that, talking about the economic value, it saves crops and it increased food productivity. Okay, so now that we have unraveled all of this knowledge regarding your Linux and your AI, now what are some of those skills that you should focus on? All right. Now, what I want you to understand is that you don't necessarily need to become a data scientist, but then you do need to know how to run AI systems. And like I said before, even before you think of leveraging AI, your Linux basic has to be intact. Your foundational knowledge of Linux, networking, Python, containers, it could be container D, it could even be Docker, your cloud platform, AWS, Azure, Google, any of those, and then your AI models deployment, and then your automation tools. This knowledge has to be intact. All right. Now, I need you to understand that AI is not here to replace you. It is here to empower you. The goal is to learn how to use it. All right. So your Linux knowledge plus AI is a powerful tool for your IT career. All right. So it has been a nice session all through. Thank you for watching. All right. You can like, comment, and subscribe. And one more thing, if you want a tutorial on deploying your first AI model on Linux, kindly drop a comment.